breakout session. And finally, we had 2 last sessions, which one was about community, and the community session was about how the congregation now can be connected to the farm, and how can you engage that. And finally, we had a session here in venue C, which was about soil, which was about Jivamrita, Bijamrita, and about how these inputs enhance soil, and also how agroforestry is a main component. And we came out with a very good next step, which is the digitalization aspect of this. So very good. So that was the recap. We have 2 more breakout sessions today in that building block. One is a good accountancy, helps you to have a good CSR program, which is a fundraising program. Shamananda Prabhu from Amritsar is here. He's going to be part of that. And how the community can be part of that whole net narrative. And on the other session, the Ahimsa certification trajectory. It's something for our grandsons. Yes? Okay? So, we're ready to start. Rasananda Prabhu. After. Let's do it after, right? Rasananda Prabhu will start with a quote, and that will be elaborated on by His Grace Devakinandana Prabhu. Then Guru Prasada Swami recorded a video which we want to show to everyone, and we have then 2 more topics on that. Is that okay? Are you ready? Hare Krishna. Brother Devakinandana, you want to come?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganam Jana Shalakaya Chakshur Umiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Shvaparantikam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Diti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachardine Nirvishesha Shunyavali Paschatyarishatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So dear Vaishnavas, Prabhus, Maharajas, Matajis, all those who are participating in this wonderful effort of cow protection and making our cow programs, goshalas, etc., to be what they should be, which is a place for worshiping the mother cow. And not only that, but the extension of that, this is also agriculture, something that Srila Prabhupada wanted, something that we need, something that provides what everyone needs. So all of these things are being very wonderfully brought about in these conferences. I'm sorry that I cannot be there today. I just had an emergency. I had to leave. But the most important thing, that this whole effort is going to be actually happening in Western India and mostly Gujarat. This is where the beginning of the program will happen. And so we should all be, but not only Gujarat, it will happen everywhere. This is just a starting point. And then, of course, India is the most auspicious and the most perfect place for cow protection program, because the majority of the population respects the cow, but they don't, even among devotees, what to speak among people, they don't understand always how special the cow is, how she is Krishna's most favorite animal, how she is so dear to Krishna. They may respect out of tradition. So this is also an educational program. And as I mentioned, we have to stop this consciousness of people thinking that cows are milk machines, and that also we can just breed unlimitedly just so we can have X amount of milk. We should not be running dairies. We should be running cow protection programs. And the awareness and the preaching that we can do can revolutionize the understanding of the cow, not only in India but everywhere in the world, and especially by the example that we can show ourselves. So what is really needed for this program to roll out and to take effect and to become very, very progressive and happening more and more, is that especially the temple presidents, the RSAs, the regional secretaries, GBCs, everyone in any position of leadership, head of an outpost or manager, all of us are united in the effort to glorify Gomata, and not just glorify, but make this awareness. Srila Prabhupada spoke again and again and again about how with Brahminical culture and cow protection and understanding the importance of the cow, that the whole world, the whole society, the worldwide society, universally, things can change. Many times Srila Prabhupada referred to the fact that because of the slaughter of animals, and especially cows, so many inauspicious things happen, so many wars happen. So if we can make this not just a local effort to have a few cows in our temple, because that's auspicious, but understand the far-reaching implications of cow protection and emphasis on agriculture and emphasis on rural communities. This will be something that Srila Prabhupada, the one thing that he could not achieve fully, the one thing that's very difficult, because most people are being brought up in cities, living in a flat, and I just yesterday in our Sunday feast at Katwara, I saw half of the people or more just sitting on the lawn, just enjoying being around green things. And so how important these rural communities are. What to speak of fulfilling Srila Prabhupada's not only desire but instruction that every temple should have a corresponding farm, and then we can send people to the farm and they can see the prayojana, the final result of our preaching, which is simple living and high thinking, or as we're terming it now, high thinking about simple living. So this is such an important thing, and we must not just treat it with a cursory effort, yeah, okay, we have to do this, but understand its urgency and importance. So I beg all of you, especially the leaders, to please bring everything that you're experiencing in this cow protection conference to the public in general, and to your devotees and to your congregation. Thank you all very much, and again, I'm sorry I can't be with you today, but I'm definitely so happy that this is happening. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimati Gomata ki jai, Jai Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna.
Hazelness Guru Prasad Maharaj ki.
हरे कृष्णा। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुर्जन्मृतं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हाँ, go ahead.
Okay. Hare Krishna. We have a quote for this session. This is Srila Prabhupada's letter to Rupanuga Prabhu, December 18, 1974. Our farm projects are an extremely important part of our movement. We must become self-sufficient by growing our own grains and producing our own milk. Then there will be no question of poverty. So develop these farm communities as far as possible. They should be developed as an ideal society depending on natural products, not industry. Industry has simply created godlessness because they think they can manufacture everything that they need. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Hare Krishna. So this morning quote also and this quote also, both had a lot of similarity. And that is Prabhupada talking about cow protection and agriculture. This morning also Prabhupada wrote same thing, what is being said here. So, if we see that traditionally, it started from Dwapar Yug, it has been from the beginning of creation, cows or Go Matas are the very, very important part of human life. Our body is Annamaya, we live on the grain. So the combination of the cows and land, it's not independent on each other but interdependent on each other. एक दूसरे पर आश्रित हैं. So without cow protection or cow care, I will say, we cannot think of good agriculture, and without good agriculture we cannot, or without good land we cannot think of the cows. So both are interdependent, they are not independent. Now this morning our Maharaj was giving class and he mentioned one thing, that how the earth always takes shape of cows. He gave the example when Parikshit Maharaj was touring, he met cow. He gave example of Prithu Maharaj. I'll give example of in 10th canto, that when Mother Earth got burdened by the demon, she went to pray to Brahma, that again she took form of cows. And we know from Scripture that there are 33 koti. Koti means not crore. Koti means crore also, but koti means different variety. 33 koti of demigod, they reside in Go Mata's, body. Yesterday, our that ghost, Mayapur wala. Yes, Dam Gopal Prabhu, while going Go Puja, he read out the whole sloka. I'm not going to do that because time is short. So how each part represents. So if cows are happy, then human civilization is happy. Krishna consciousness moment is meant for making one and all happy. Although the Go Seva and Go-Raksha both are same word, but both are little different. Cow protection and Go Seva, what you call in English? The English word, service to cow. Yeah, both are same, but there is a big difference. We don't protect cow. The cow protect us. That's the real thing. If you really serve. I will give one example. How much time I have? Someone, Haribol. Otherwise I will go on. Once I get mic, I don't leave it. 5 minutes, okay, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, thank you. So once, some Bombay boys, school boys, they went to a village. Some school boys, city boys, they went to village. They wanted to see how the village looks like. So they happened to see many cows grazing in the field. So the one boy asked to other his friend, why do we call cows Mata, Go Mata? One boy said, because she gives milk. So he said, well, goat also give milk. We don't call, Bakri Mata. Bhais, buffalo also gives milk. We don't call Bhais Mata. So all the animal which gives milk, we don't call Mata. Why only cow? So all those boys, they were scratching their head, they had no answer. Then cowherd boy was there, Charvaha. The difference between Gopal, Gwala and Charvaha. So they asked Charvaha that, why do we call cow as our mother? He said, I do not know. I am from village. But I can tell one thing, that they protect us. And he explained with example. Once, I had taken the cows in rainy season in forest. This was a topic I want to talk about, Gocharan. How Krishna did that. There is science. When you take the cow for grazing, how you should go with cows, and when they come back, how you should come back. Anybody knows when we take the cows for grazing, where should we be? Okay, anybody else? Anybody else? Okay, I don't want to waste time because he gave only 10 minutes to finish. Well, while going, grazing the cow, you should never be in front. You will be killed. Because when the cow are left, they run like crazy. And you cannot control. So, better that you be backside. That's Charvaha. And while bringing cow back, now they have grazing, they are filled, they should not run, you should be in front. So they don't run too much. With a strong, all the cowherd men should be there. And this famous sloka, Barha Pidam Natvar Bapo Karnayo Karnikaram, is there in Bhagavatam. You can see how Krishna, Balaram and cowherd boy, they are in front and all the cows are behind. So this is science. So earlier, everyone has cow. Everybody has cow, whether Hindu, Muslim, Christian, no matter what caste they were. Everybody has a house, a cow at home. And there used to be one Charvaha or cow taker who takes He had 10-15 cows. He will bring his cows. Everybody will leave their cow from their house, and he will take. And rainy season there no place, so they used to take to forest. So this farmer or this cowherd boy man, he said, once I have brought all the cows, buffalo, goat, everyone in the forest during rainy season, and my cows, everybody was grazing, they were grazing, I was sitting there, on one tiger, he attacked on me. When he roared, made a sound, the goat, the buffalo, they all ran away. But the cows, they came around me, they covered me, and they put their horn outside. And the tiger had to go away. Therefore they call Go Mata. They are Mata. They are our protector, not that we are protecting them. But never mind, we have to go according to time, place and circumstances. So, instead of speaking, I have few slide, video and slide that I want to present, and then I will talk on that little bit. Okay, go ahead. अरे आप ही करो ना. I am not that like that. Okay, this is again, I had no time to bring the Kanpur one, but okay, these two Gosala that I am personally looking after. So, okay, we got 67-acre land, then we Juhu purchased 10 and 25, so almost 100 acre we have. Okay. Now my inspiration is, of course, Srila Prabhupada. We just read a quote, morning also, and there are many as such. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. He has been always, some other him and Rupanuga Prabhu, they are very close friend. And Rupanuga Prabhu was into this cow thing. Whenever he came to Bombay, we were talking. And then after he leaves, Gopal Krishna Maharaj used to talk about, we must have farm, we must have farm. Finally, in 1982, we got a farm in Karjat, but didn't work out. But Gopal Krishna Maharaj always kept saying, we should have. And he said, our temple is on the ocean, shore of the ocean. Who knows, sometime too much water will come and everybody will go. Or something happened, deity had to be taken care. So by Krishna's mercy, Damodar Prabhu, was it 2009 we got that land? 2011, one day myself and B.K. Goenkaji, the chairman of Wellspun, we were sitting and I talked about this thing. He said, I have two land. One is 67 acre and other is 20 acre. So the 20 acre land is on Nasik road and 67 acre on Ahmedabad road. Both are on the road. So I did not know the situation. I said, why should I go for 20? Why not 67? So I jumped for 67. But I did not know it is encroached by the tribal. Never mind. And when we got the land, it was barren land. Nothing was there. Thanks to Damodar Prabhu, he did a lot of service there. That will take a long time. So, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj was my inspiration. Move on. This is our team in Talasari. Pawan Putra Prabhu, Chaitanya Avatar Prabhu, Mukund Padma Prabhu, Damodar Dulal Prabhu, and the Ghosha there, Radha Kanhai. So all are very qualified, more than me. They all are educated, at least these four. Damodar has done PhD, whatever. And Mukund Padma also is highly qualified. These two are engineer. Radha Kanhai also. So these are the team. There are 5 Pandavas. They are taking care of Talasari. So there are some of the photos. Okay, go ahead. Okay, play. This is about grazing. Not in front. They are going for grazing now. And they are so friendly. They are so friendly. We had to do all this service ourselves. So some of the devotees slept with the cows. It was summer season, we slept with the cows. And they are so kind, so nice. They will not even do like this. Okay. Then farming. Farming means organic farming, not other farming. But of course, now we have to define. So there are some of the things in the farming, some of the vegetable. Go ahead. Vegetable, we have fruits. We have over 200 chiku tree, mango trees, different kind of mango, like that. And we grow, Mother Earth gives us all this vegetable. Okay. Then we have facility for all of you, can come, this is guest house. Then we also invite people, like all the prominent people. You can see with me, in white shirt is Sajan Jindal, the owner of JSW. Next to me, the short one, Yashok Goyal. He the brother of Subhashji, GTV, SL World, SL Group of Company. And next to him is B.K. Goenka, who gave us 67-acre land. So they come, and then Guru Prasad Maharaj was there, and others. Okay. They were in go past me. They come. What happened? We have from cow dung, gobar gas, another thing. Now our Sam Sundar, he is going to talk about CSR. By the way, by default, I am the chairman of CSR for India. So I practice what do we do. So these are some of the CSR activities, and we get enough money. That's not our goal, by the way. Our goal is to make cow self-sufficient, our whole farm self-sufficient. And we are working, thanks to Damodar Prabhu and the Chaitanjivan Prabhu and Pawan Putra Prabhu, whole team working very nicely. So we want to make it self-sufficient. We are just going to buy some more land, like that. Okay? Now, yesterday Basu Ghosh Prabhu announced you all of this big project coming up. So somebody may say, hey, we need, the land for the cows. I mean, all this my donor, they are ready to pump the money for the big temple. But I am holding it till we find the property, land for the cows. I'm not going to have any concrete jungle there. So that is my goal. So anyway, by the way, master plan is going to play. Said, Prabhuji, wherever he have a factory, he have a temple. So he said, why don't we build something which will last long? So he came out with this concept, temple of millennium. And it's 100% Vastu. And we have the architect who built the statue of equality in Hyderabad, same architect working on that. And everything in mood of goodness. No iron and steel, no cement. Cement is in mood of ignorance, iron and steel in passion. So we are going to make granite temple. Move fast. I'm still 2 more minutes. So I'll finish. But as I said, we will not move an inch till we get the land for the cows. Once again, I like to thank Kalakanta Prabhu and his team, Sanatan Prabhu, Damodar Prabhu, Shyamanand Prabhu, and Rathanand Prabhu, and Dam Ghosh, what is his name? Dam Gopal. So everybody, thank you very much, and my friend Syam Sundar Prabhu, everyone. And this is first time I attended this conference, and it's very nice. I will only suggest that we should have every DC wise, WIDC separately, NIDC, EIDC, SIDC, because so many cows are there. I see not everybody, whole India, pan India is not here. So that will help. You all can think. Thank you very much. Anybody any question? All right. Yes, Talasri can host, no problem. That's you all decide. I don't want to interfere.
Hare Krishna, His Grace Devakinandan Prabhu ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. So next in this plenary session we have His Grace Kalakanta Prabhu speaking the current need to integrate cows and the farm. And then Hare Krishna, just like we saw this video, tomorrow we have kept some slots. Any Goshala farm want to show your PPT presentation, you can contact our registration team. Hare Krishna. You start.
Thank you, Devakinandan and Prabhu. That was very inspiring to see. A stone temple is something that I've always wondered. Something so traditional in India. It's very inspirational. And as you mentioned, the mode of goodness, the ancient traditional wisdom of India with the natural living of India does have a very good dialogue with the mode of goodness. So we're very grateful that you're taking such a dimension of project. And now we're going to go to two last points very quickly so we can go to our breakout sessions. The first one is between me and Ketan. Ketan, please come on. You may have a seat. We're just very briefly going to talk about this integration and what we mean by that. And then after us, Shyamasundar Prabhu and Dhammagopal or Dhamghosh, they're going to tell us a little about breathing in India and the different aspects we can look at. And we thought we'd deal in a plenary session because that's something we all need to listen to. So Ketan, the way we'll do this is that I'll start giving a brief description about the need. And I hope you can fill in the dots from the scientific perspective, how breathing can help us to achieve that. Is that okay? Great. So in these 11 years of visiting the farms, what I notice is that we have a big congregation and India has become wealthy. So it's very natural that everyone wants to donate something for the cows. And that makes us a little less inspired to increase production. Especially because we hear so many quotes, like we heard from His Holiness Guru Prasad Swami. We don't want to see the cow as a milk machine. Or we hear so many people, we don't want to exploit the mother cow. So with all this conceptual thinking in our minds, the natural thinking process is to go to the minimum possible. In our minds, the minimum possible becomes the sacred, the natural process. And that same thinking process happened in India with what we call today the Deshi cows. And perhaps you can elaborate on that. Their performance was regulated by the kings who would bring to the villages excellent breeding bulls, which would then increase the village's capacity for milk, for draft, for genetics, for everything. So in our society too, our herds basically have been, in terms of genetics, lost. And to be able to integrate with the farm, with the temples, we need to produce. We need to have something to offer them to be able to establish that relationship. So the dilemma is, once we start producing, do we become commercial in mind or do we become efficient in operation? So is there a difference between these two things? Efficient, I get what I need and I have surplus, as Prabhupada says, and then I exchange the excess. And what is excess? What is expected in a normal production unit? Right now, India averages, most of our ISKCON Goshalas, between 2.5, 3, 4 liters per cow, per milking cow. And Ketan can explain a little bit about that. So my first provoking thought was, do we need to shift to a more production level, focusing our community? Is that something we need to do? And the second is, how do we need to do that? So with that, over to you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Yes. So whoever is here who is into the service of the cows, okay, I'll state a few problems and I'm 100% sure all of you will relate with it, right? First problem is lesser milk yield, okay. Second is frequent diseases with the cows, you know. Every other day or twice in a week, you know, we need some intervention for the veterinary doctor, right? Can you relate? Right? It happens, right? Problem with the cow's fertility, you know. Cows are not getting pregnant on regular basis, so the dry period is long, you know. The gap between two calves is bigger, right? Can you relate with this? Right? So what happens is you have to put more efforts, you have to be more available manually, you have to struggle with the economics, right? So all these problems at the base is good breeding. As now Prabhuji rightly pointed out, there is a lot of traditional wisdom. There's some science involved with everything, right? Like he gave one example of grazing of cows. Like that, there's a lot of traditional knowledge which is in sync with the modern science of breeding, right? But what modern science does is accelerate. In earlier times, to get the GBV, genomic breeding value of a bull, you have to wait for 7 years, because bull starts breeding at the age of 2.5 to 3 years, then for initial year, there will be, let's say, 10 cows will get pregnant with that bull, and then they'll deliver a calf, right? And you have to wait for 3 more years, because this young calves will come to adulterate and get adult, and then they will give a calf, and then you will know how much milk increase has happened through this bull, So precious 7 years are lost, right? So in earlier times, there was Gaushala A in a village, Gaushala B in another village, Gaushala C in third village, right? So there was a team of experts, the elders, So there used to be one Nandishala. Gaushala was everywhere, everybody had cows, as Prabhuji rightly said, but for good breeding, there was one Nandishala, which is common for the entire village. Now, every 3 years, this team of experts, these elders, will travel to different villages nearby in a bullock cart or, by foot or whatever mode of transport available at that time, They will go to each village, study different offsprings from different cows by the same bull which the other village has kept in their Nandishala, and then how many breed characters are derived from the bull out of, let's say, 100 cows, 70 or 80 cows offsprings have qualities from the father, then that bull is considered a very high progeny bull, who transfer his genetics most of the times when, the new offsprings come into this world, right? So based on all that, they will trace the entire pedigree of that bull, and after careful selection, they will exchange the bulls, So similarly, the other village team will come to this village, and then also they'll do the same exercise. So there was a science, right? But with modern tools, it is accelerated. Now there's a technology called genomic breeding value. With that, you do DNA analysis, right? And when the calf is 4 or 6 months old, through DNA testing, you can predict that the new offsprings which will come out of this bull will have how much milk yield, how much fat percentage, how much fertility increase compared to the mother into new offspring, So the precious 6-7 years are saved, right? So like good fodder, like good space or shelter for cows, breeding is also one of the foundational things, which is often ignored. So what I'm trying to say, good fodder does its part, but breeding is something very core to Gaushala efficiency, We do a lot of talking about the bull economics, how can we utilize a bull. Talasri Gaushala presented a very beautiful video, the way they are utilizing ox. But the main function of a bull is breeding. If you see, I have worked with the Gir breed in Gujarat. I'm quoting Gir example, but it applies to all the breeds into respective geography. Good genetics of a bull. So there are 2-3 companies, private companies in Gujarat, founded by farmers. They are into genetics, cow genetics, Gir cow genetics companies. Like there are international inquiries with them, and they started with the Gaushala and cow, right? So what I'm saying, the traditional knowledge combined with the scientific tools, I think we can create wonders, Now these companies, they are doing international contracts. Forget that, even the simple Gaushala, they are selling their bull for 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 25 lakhs, the amount of efficiency, because the main function of a bull is to breed and spread the good genetics, So Prabhuji, Vishal Prabhu, he's sitting right there. He was quoting one example. There is one Gaushala which has like 400 cows, but they just produce 100 liters of milk, right? Now, cow is our mother. Prabhuji rightly said she protects us. Similar ways, she also nourishes us. But for nourishing us, right, we have to do a lot of seva, because genetics is something, so the degradation is also slow, upgradation is also slow, you know. Good genetics, it takes years to come down to zero. Similarly, as now most of the cow herd has, you know, almost zero in genetics, now from 0 to 100, it's a longer journey. But somehow awareness is very less. So what we have to do is at least get this awareness, and we have to start walking that path. You know, I shared in my presentation the way I see it. If we as a congregation in our organization, if we start scientific breeding, right, 10 years down the line, most of our Gaushalas will have elite genetics. So we don't have to go out to procure good genetics, like good genetic quality cows, good genetic quality bulls. Maybe the old system of the kings, you know, where these elders will go to village and exchange, mutual exchange, right? We can recreate that old system, ancient system, with scientific method, with scientific tools, right? So this is something how I see from sitting here, right? And I see a lot of potential. And there are so many Gaushalas, there will be very good genetic quality cows. It just need some conscious and dedicated efforts, and I think we can definitely achieve the status. So with this thought, Prabhuji, I'll conclude. If anybody has any question, I'll be more than happy to answer.
Just take it from where you stopped a moment, you see. So we are looking at a shift of paradigm, where to be able to supply ahimsa dairy for the deities, we need to be efficient. And that efficiency is rooted on very technical scientific aspects, and breeding is one of them. And Dhammagopal is sitting right at the back, and he's going to come up soon, because he's doing that at the Mayapur Goshala. And he'll tell you the challenges in keeping records, the challenges in training the staff. So many aspects are the practical aspects which you all have to face on the day-to-day basis. Now, all of this has to be translated in a language which is simple enough for the leadership to listen, digest, and says, yes, I'll make a plan to invest there. Because otherwise, we'll think a normal production of 3.5 liters is good enough, and then the investment necessary to take that trajectory to elevate it to 8, 9, 10, 12, the investment of time, energy, good genetics, keeping the good genetics, keeping the good practices, that won't be taken. And without that, we don't have the goods to offer to the city. So there's a tandem. The supply we want to give has to match the investment that has to come, so I can make the temples receive the gifts of the farm. And that transition is something which is something which requires contemplation, because most of us all have come from IT jobs, right? Anybody from IT jobs here in this room? Hands up if you came from an IT environment. Really? Only 1, 2, 3. Only 3 IT people in the whole room. This is a revolution in India. Wherever I go, I get 80% hands up IT. Okay. What else we have here? Engineers? How many engineers? Hands up, engineers. Engineering environment, right? Any doctors? Medical doctors? Okay, two medical doctors. Lawyers? Any lawyers in the room? Businessmen? Gujarat ki jai, okay. Oh yeah, here in the world of the businessmen. So wherever sector you are, probably you left behind your village where you were working day to day on this with your grandparents and like that. So it requires a little contemplation so we can again get the formula right, okay? And on that note, I would immediately like to call our members, Shyamasundar Prabhu and Dhammagopal, to speak a little bit about the scenario in India from your visits, what you have observed. Is that okay? Good. Srila Prabhupada ki. Let's a big Haribol for Ketan, who has been here with us. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think while Dhamma Gopal gets in position, maybe I'll give a little contrast. In Europe, there are many cows that give 10,000 litres of milk over a 305-day lactation. And in those dairies, if the cow's yield drops below 30 litres a day, they send it away. When I was the Goshala manager at the manor, I kept records. It fascinated me. And what I discovered was that the average lactation of a cow was 4 years. In other words, once the cow had been impregnated and she was giving milk, we would keep milking her. We wouldn't automatically re-impregnate her. We would consider that when her yield per day went down to about, 3/4 of a litre, half a litre, then we would stop and consider re-impregnating her. So we found that the average lactation was 4 years. Sometimes it went on for 10 years. We heard a report that one cow gave milk for 14 years. And we found that our cows gave on average 10,000 litres of milk per calf. So that, in other words, we could say in one sense, our cows were as productive as the highest yielding cows in the country. Of course, we have a different configuration. So it fascinated me, it fascinates me, and as well as hearing about good genetics, which is a branch that we definitely should do professionally, we should also consider the extension of lactations. I find this is a gift of Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON society, that we have various perspectives and insights about the generosity of cows that's not known by your average farmer. For example, as we heard, pretty much every single Western farm, ISKCON farm, has 1 or 2 spontaneous milking cows. What that means is the farmer who's observant, he notices that some of his dry cows don't look completely dry. There's a slightly bit of swelling in their teats, perhaps, or their udder. And when the milker goes and gives it a squeeze, some water comes out. And he keeps doing it, and that water turns to milk. And they find that suddenly that yield grows, maybe 7 litres, 10 litres a day. Every single Western Goshala, it's part of how they operate. So I noticed here in the Goshala, there was also some dry cows that had a slight swollen teat. They would be candidates, if they're in the West, to give it a squeeze, see if anything comes out, and see how benevolent they are. Another thing that's been achieved is sometimes cows that aren't swelling at all. This happens to be born in the herd. And the farmer goes, let me give it a go. Let me see if they rise to the challenge. So a young heifer, maybe a year and a half old, was brought in. Her udder's massaged, and he squeezes his teat, and a little bit of water comes out. He does it the next session, and a bit more water comes out. He does it session after session, and the milk gradually builds up in quantity and quality. So why is this available to the Bos Taurus? Why not the Bos Indicus? When we were doing our tour of Palayat, we came across some Gujarati farmers who had gear cows. And they told us that at some point they continue milking the cow after the calf has been weaned. At least that's what they said. Here in your Goshala, you have a cow whose calf died, and she's still giving milk. 2 teats to 1 teat. When the calf gets 6 or 7 months, you wean the calf up, but you keep milking her. See how long it goes. So I think these are 2 unique contributions that change the perspective of the productivity of our cows. If we just extend the lactation 6 months more than we're doing currently, that would increase milk yield without changing anything, without changing your breed, without anything. If you could get some of your dry cows, because remember, here you have 1 milking cow and maybe 10 non-milking cows. In the West, with these extended lactations, we have 1 milking cow and 3 non-milking cows, which is a bull or an ox. So these are experimental areas that each of your Goshalas could do, because you've got hundreds of dry cows. You've probably got loads of them that are already swollen in their teats. And by trialing it, without increasing your impregnancy rates, you could increase your milk yield significantly and stimulate a different way of thinking about the productivity of cows. What to speak of all the other things that we've heard from more professionals.
There's not much I can add to that, but I just say that a lot of the Goshalas we go to, we see breeding happens very emotionally. They just somehow feel that this cow and this bull will probably go well together, and the progeny will be good. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and many times, you may get some good cows out of that and some good bulls, but good milking, it only comes from keeping very strict records, which is something we've personally struggled with also in Mayapur Goshala, and only now we've been able to bring in an application, a computer app, and we are able to I'm going to be short, it's okay. Keep records of the lactations and the milk yield morning and evening, and the share that's given to the calf. And this, all Goshalas should eventually have to follow if they are to in any way raise the next generation, which is going to be our breeding stock or herd. And so yeah, I think I'll just end with that. That's,
I want to bring this point up because it also ties in what Ketan was saying. You've got to keep records. You've got to record which cows give which milk. Because when it comes to the selection of which cow you're going to impregnate, don't just impregnate a cow because it's a cow. You've got to impregnate your cows that give you the most milk. We have to work to improve our lactations. We went to some Goshalas on our tour, and there was basically 1 liter of milk left. And the calf was skinny, the mother was skinny, there was hardly enough milk for the calf or anybody. Surely we have to have enough milk for the calf to be succulent, to suck nice. In the Western cows, the calf gets about 1,000 liters. 900 to 1,000 liters of the milk. It's their share. Plus there's another 10,000 liters for humans. So we're hearing this morning about in a good Goshala, you should be getting 6,000 liters of milk. In a really good Goshala, 9,000 liters of milk, and that's just over 305 days. Not even extended lactation. Imagine you've got a 6,000 liter cow and her extension goes for 2 years. That's 9,000, 10,000 liters. So we have some real skills that we can add to the equation of cows, but we have to be professional about it, and that's what we have to do things properly. Keep records. For donations, any cow will do. But for milk, you've got to have good cows. We need milk. It's kind of funny that we're a lactose vegetarian society. We get a little milk from our own cows and we're buying our milk from outside. We should be producing our own milk for our own society and showing others this is how you can do it. We can show them more magic of the cows than they already knew. So you've got to keep good records. And it's challenging because we're used to doing things, cows come in, they get milk, they go, we don't care, no, you've got to record every cow's contribution. There's a saying in the leadership course, you only succeed in what you measure. If you don't measure it, you're not going to succeed in it. So similarly, if you want to get your bulls working, you count your ox hours. Did you know Talasari last year did 9,000 ox hours? I don't think there's any Goshala in ISKCON that's doing 9,000 ox hours in 1 year. That's another thing that wasn't mentioned there. It's incredible contribution. Hare Krishna.
I think it's not something you can ask leadership. It's the coward boys who are taking care of the cows. They have to take the initiative to be breeding good quality stock. Yes, we would definitely ask for good breeding bulls, a good donation for a good breeding bull. And yeah, a starting stock of good cows also speeds up the process a lot.
Thank you, Shama Sundraji and Dhamma Gopal. We'll end our session now. So thank you so much for your participation. Yes. And to finalize, I'd like to bring to our attention that we do have here a very special devotee with us, which is Shweta Prabhu. Are you around? Shweta Dvip? Yes, please come here. Shweta Prabhu is part of a government program. He can explain for 1 minute what he's doing. He can write a check for you. And he actually is doing a lot in Maharashtra. So you could perhaps describe it a little bit. And we're going to have a session on Ahimsa's certification trajectory, and there we can explain more about it. Is that okay?
Hare Krishna. So I'll be more comfortable in Hindi. So, तो बेसिकली ये महाराष्ट्र गोसेवा कमीशन या कमीशन बोर्ड या महाराष्ट्र गोसेवा आयोग 3 साल पहले महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट में शुरू किया। हम सबको पता है कि स्पेसिफिकली उत्तर प्रदेश, हरियाणा, राजस्थान, गुजरात और अभी महाराष्ट्र, ये जगह के ऊपर ये गोसेवा आयोग है। तो गोसेवा आयोग का एक काम है कि देसी गोवंश को बढ़ाना, या जहाँ स्पेसिफिकली सनातन विचार की सरकार है वहाँ ये लोग गोसेवा आयोग शुरू कर रहे हैं। तो महाराष्ट्र में 3 साल पहले किया गया। तो इसका उद्देश्य एक था कि महाराष्ट्र में हम सबको पता है कि प्रोमिनेंटली 7 प्रकार के देसी गाय है, जिसमें खिलार महाराष्ट्र का है, जैसे गिर गुजरात का है तो महाराष्ट्र का खिलार है। अभी ये भी एक साइंस है कि छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज, उनकी जो ग्लोरी हम लोग सुनते हैं कि शिवाजी महाराज की वजह से ये भारत है, उसके पीछे की जो दृष्टि है, सपोज इतिहास देखते हैं तो शिवाजी महाराज के मावड़े खिलार का दूध पीते थे। ऐसा भी डॉक्यूमेंटेड है कि शिवाजी महाराज के पास 2500 खिलार गाय थी, जिसके वजह से वो जो मावड़े हैं वो युद्ध करते थे। तो जैसे हमारे मनुष्य योनि में ब्राह्मण, क्षत्रिय, वैश्य, शूद्र, इस प्रकार के अलग अलग 4 वर्ण होते हैं, उसी गाय में भी होती है। एक खिलार गाय है वो क्षत्रिय है और एक गिर गाय है वो ब्राह्मण है। तो थोड़ा सा वो भी है। तो आप ये भी ध्यान में रखिए कि जो खिलार का दूध पिएगा वो आपके ऊपर तलवार लेके चढ़ जाएगा। तो ऐसा एक बोला था गोरक्षक ने कि हमारे मिलिट्री को देसी गाय के खिलार का दूध पिलाना चाहिए। तो थोड़ा इन शॉर्ट में महाराष्ट्र की जो प्रजाति है, हमारा जो गोवंश है, देसी गोवंश, ये बचाने के लिए ये गोसेवा आयोग स्थापन किया। और मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि 10 साल पहले मैंने गो विज्ञान परिषद शुरू किया था। भरत सुतारिया जी, दामोदर दुलाल प्रभु और पूरी टीम हम लोग काम करते थे। इसका नतीजा ये हो गया कि गवर्नमेंट ने मुझे, जो उनकी 8 डायरेक्टर्स लोगों की बॉडी है, 7 लोगों की, उसमें मुझे भी सिलेक्ट किया गया। और अच्छा हो गया क्योंकि हमें प्रभुपाद जी के मिशन में एक अच्छा प्रशिक्षण मिला है। आप सब लोगों को बोलता हूँ कि आयोग का मतलब ये होता है कि जिनको मिनिस्ट्री नहीं मिलती है उनको आयोग में डाला जाता है। अभी वो सब धंधे की भी बात होती है। तो गोसेवा आयोग में जितना भी जहाँ से भी आता है तो 10% तो उनका कमीशन ऐसे लोगों के लिए निकल जाता है। लेकिन हमने पहले ही मीटिंग में वहाँ कहा कि गोसेवा आयोग क्योंकि गाय के रिलेटेड है, इसमें हम 1 रुपये का चाय भी नहीं पिएंगे, क्योंकि वैसे हम चाय पीते नहीं। तो हम लोग इसमें पैसे नहीं लेंगे और आपको अच्छा लगेगा। मेरे साथ साथ ये 7 सदस्य ने कसम खाई कि हम 1 रुपया भी नहीं लेंगे। आज कहने के लिए बहुत अच्छा लगता है कि 250 करोड़ हमने आज तक डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किए, उसमें हमने खुद के लिए 1 रुपया भी खर्चा नहीं किया। पूरा का पूरा पैसा गौ माता के लिए खर्चा किया। तो कहने का मतलब अभी हमारे में से कई सारे गोरक्षक हैं। मेरा सबको निवेदन है कि कृपया आप सोशली भी कनेक्ट रहिए, पॉलिटिकली भी कनेक्ट रहिए, क्योंकि यहाँ बैठे हुए एक एक व्यक्ति किस स्तर का है मुझे पता है, इसलिए मैं पीछे बैठ के सुनने के लिए आया था, मैं सुनाने के लिए नहीं आया था, बिकॉज हर एक व्यक्ति एक बड़ी बड़ी गौशाला है। तो मुझे निवेदन है कि आप कृपया कनेक्ट रहिए, सो दैट अलग अलग राज्यों में आप भी गौ सेवा आयोग के सदस्य बनो, सो दैट गौ माता की ज़्यादा अच्छा सेवा हो।
Thank you very much, Shwetadweep. Now we're going to go to our last session of the day. We're a little late, but we'll shorten the session a little bit, so we adjust. In this room, it will be the accountancy, documentation, certification, no, it's digitalization. It's there, right? And we'll go to the other room here, the VIP kitchen. Everyone who's the Ahimsa certification. So in that one is Ketan, Shamasundra, myself, Vishal. Are you here? Sanak Sanatan is there. And Damagopal Prabhu is also there. And Damodadla Prabhu is there. Right. We are there. We are there. And here will be Rasananda and the team who is on Shamananda will be here. Okay? So if you are on the Ahim certification trajectory, you just go to that trajectory. Room next door here, the VIP kitchen. Thank you all very much for attending the plenary. I'll see you soon. Hare Krishna.
Uh-huh.